Every story appears ordinary until you see the core side of it.
And what you're looking for is the story behind the news.
We bring it to you from Lagos, the commercial capital of Nigeria.
Giving you all sides and political stories round the clock.
Every detail from the start line to the final whistle.
CoreTV News, expanding your view.
Hello and welcome to CoreTV Primetime News. I am Oluyemisi Olubi, and here's our top stories for tonight. Welcome back. And now the news. Welcome back, and now the news in full. 2016 started with great expectations for both government and the people of Nigeria, with Nigerians expecting government to provide solutions to most developmental challenges confronting the nation. But as the days roll by in the year, challenges like scarcity of fuel, electoral violence, and epileptic power supply, amongst others, were the hallmark of successive administrations in Nigeria and are yet to be solved. In this special report, State House correspondent Abiola Oluwole x-rays some decisions of the federal government in the first quarter of 2016.
With just 7 months into the administration of President Muhammadu Buhari, Nigerians began 2016 with the mindset that the change agenda will start crystallizing. But according to the presidency, the enormity of the rot left behind by the 16 years of PDP government cannot be tackled without proper planning. In light of this, President Buhari and members of his team say they are working hard to change the footing of the country for the better. The Federal Executive Council retreat on the economy, according to analysts, is a decisive step of the current administration to revamp the national economy. At the opening of the retreat, President Buhari set the target of achieving 10,000 megawatts of distributable power supply for the country in the next 3 years. He also affirms the readiness of his government to diversify the economy by investing in agriculture and mining. This, according to him, will reduce the country's dependence on oil.
When I was schoolboy in the 50s, the country produced 1 million tons of groundnuts in 2 successive years. The country's main foreign exchange earners were groundnuts, cotton, cocoa, palm kernel, rubber, all agroforest resources.
The planned injection of 3 billion naira, according to the Minister of Finance, is a move to rejuvenate the national economy.
In anticipation of the approval of the budget, we have actually lined up around 350 billion, which will be pumping into the Nigerian economy in the forthcoming months. We explained our rationale and the processes that we've put in place, safeguards to ensure that this money actually achieves the desired objective, which is to stimulate the economy.
Reorganization of the NMPC is another major decision taken by this administration. According to the Minister of State for Petroleum Resources, Ibe Kachuku, the move is to ensure efficiency and productivity of the organization.
NMPC is still a whole. There's nothing new that has happened.
In spite of the reorganization, queues are yet to disappear from filling stations across the nation.
One of the trainings I have is not that of a magician, but I'm working very hard to ensure that some of those issues go away.
Sacking of Director Generals of federal government parastatals by President Buhari was not an unexpected decision, according to political watchers. They say such move will enable government have its ears on all agencies. Auditing of the account of MDAs and approval of World Bank loan for Lagos State are some of the outcomes of the Federal Executive Council meetings held within the period under review. honoring members of the victorious 1985 Golden Eaglets and other victorious athletes is another step taken by government. President Buhari also played host to several heads of government and members of diplomatic corps at the presidential villa, aside visiting some countries to improve bilateral relations. The death of the late Minister of State for Labour and Employment, James Ocholi, alongside his wife and son, is a major blow for the nation in the quarter under review. Nigerians will not also forget the controversial pardon, missing, and the eventual passage of the 2016 appropriation bill in this quarter. As the second quarter of the year commences, Nigerians are waiting to see President Buhari achieve the set target of his administration, no matter how slow it will be. Abiola Oluwole reporting for CoreTV News.
And still on the presidency, President Muhammadu Buhari in Washington, D.C. assures Nigerians in the diaspora that his administration's determination to move the country forward as quickly as possible is certain. Speaking at an audience with a group of Nigerians who have distinguished themselves in various professions in the United States, Buhari said his administration is fully committed to correcting the errors that hinders Nigeria's progress as a nation. Buhari also says his administration would maintain contacts with Nigerian professionals in the diaspora and see how they could be best placed to contribute effectively to national development if they choose to come back home. President Muhammadu Buhari has also reaffirmed Nigeria's commitment to the global fight against the threat of nuclear terrorism and other forms of terrorism. The president, speaking in Washington, D.C., also pledges Nigeria's continued support for multilateral efforts aimed at promoting a common approach and commitment to nuclear security at the highest levels. President Buhari notes that to enhance nuclear security, Nigeria has to reinforce its cooperation with the International Atomic Energy Agency, the United States Department of State's Partnership for Nuclear Security, and the World Institute for Nuclear Security. In Nigeria's country statement to the 4th Nuclear Security Summit being hosted by the United States President Barack Obama, President Buhari adds that Nigeria has developed a program to ensure that radioactive sources in the country are better secured to prevent unauthorized access by terrorists and criminals. President Buhari equally praises President Obama's pace-setting initiative and drive, which he says has brought the global fight against the threat of nuclear terrorism to its present level. President Muhammadu Buhari has promised to explore the potentials available in agriculture and solid mineral sectors to tackle the high rate of unemployment in Nigeria. His special advisor on media and publicity, Femi Adesina, discloses that the president made this known at a bilateral meeting with the Prime Minister of Denmark, Lars Rasmussen, in Washington, D.C. He says his administration had resolved to return to the sectors that were abandoned for petroleum in the past as a way of making the country a more productive one. President Buhari, who is currently in the United States for the 4th Nuclear Security Summit, says the rapid diversification of Nigeria's economy remains top on his administration's agenda. Now, all appears to be set for the founder and chairman of the Social Democratic Party, Olusegun Oshoba, to defect to the All Progressive Congress, as party stalwarts are at the moment converging at the Lagos venue, a briefing which is planned to announce that the former Ogun State governor is cross-carpeting to the ruling party. Correspondent Victoria Solomon has the details.
Party stalwarts converge on the Lagos residence of former governor of Ogun State, Segun Oshoba.
So, you know, I was going to Soku. So this is the governor.
The meeting's sole aim is to witness the emergence of the new bride of the APC.
Yes, it was for a time with the SDP. But with what we have just done today, Akerogun Oshoba, the Aremo himself, is back with the progressive leadership of Yorubaris.
The former Social Democratic Party leader could not hold back his joy and sang a victory song.
That's Awolowo's political anthem.
The Ashiwaju of Lagos also has this to say about the unveiling.
The joy of what is very crucial is for us forging one front and remain in a progressive party.
Many party members expressed anticipation and belief that the defection will help steady the bond between Olusegun Oshoba and the governor of Ogun State, Ibikunle Amosu.
And from Lagos, we take you to Plateau State, where the Management Committee Chairman of Just South Local Government Area, Augustine Pwakim, is calling for the immediate rehabilitation of the internally displaced persons within his domain. He made the call at Voangdong area, where some of the IDPs are taking shelter. Plateau State correspondent reported that some of them came from all over the state and beyond, due to the activities of insurgents in the northeast and the perennial communal clashes that has lasted more than 15 years in the state.
That my people in Josa local government, particularly from Guang, are suffering because of what has happened. These are the same Guang people that have been displaced within their own domain. They are suffering. They don't have houses, they don't have food, they don't have clothes. Their farmlands are there lying fallow, and the rains are coming. These people must go back and
Military sources have confirmed the arrest of the leader of the Ansar Islamic sect, Khalid al-Banawi, who is being described as the second in command to Abubakar Shekau in the hierarchy of the Boko Haram terrorist group. The Ansar leader al-Banawi, who reportedly trained in the North African country of Algeria, is believed to highly be influential in the nation's terror network. He is regarded as the most influential member of Nigeria's terror network, which contacts to other jihadi groups in North Africa and the Middle East. Ansari was formed as a splinter group of the Boko Haram in January 26, 2012, and he claimed responsibility for the November 2012 attack on the Special Anti-Robbery Squad headquarters, Abuja. And still on terrorism, the Nigerian army says its troops have killed 9 members of the Boko Haram sect during a clearance operation at Wowota, near Jere, in Bama local government area of Borno State. The acting director, Army Public Relations, Colonel Sani Usman, discloses that the troops of the 115th Task Force Battalion who carried out the operation also destroyed an improvised explosive device factory in the area. Usman said the troops recovered 1 laptop, a solar panel, a pair of Nigerian military desert and woodland camouflage, as well as bandolier vest and 6 ready IEDs pressure plates. The troops also freed 21 captives of the deadly sect, now said to be undergoing screening at the headquarters of the 155 Brigade for medical attention and possible handover to the relevant agencies. The Nigerian Army has announced the reopening of the May Malari Cantonment Mami Market, Maiduguri, after 3 years of being closed down due to insurgency. The General Officer Commanding 7th Division of the Nigerian Army, Brigadier General Victor Ezugu, made the announcement at the launch of the Chief of Army Staff Investment Initiatives for Barracks Community in Maiduguri. He says the reopening of the market is to alleviate the sufferings of the barracks community, which had been negatively affected by the long closure. The Army official also distributed 1 million naira soft loans to 10 women, as well as 10 tricycles to 10 barrack youths as part of the initiatives. And now Islamic Clerics are calling for lasting peace amongst various religious groups in Nigeria. While speaking at a gathering in commemoration of the 21st year anniversary of the Nasrul Lail Fatih, popularly known as NASFAT, the society's president, Yomi Bolayiwa, believes unity in time of difficulty is key to sustainable peace. Akinyobakeye has more.
Established in 1995 to preach peace and build religious harmony, the 21st year celebration of Nasrul Lail Fatih, NASFAT, is coming at a time where strife for religious superiority is the order of the day. In sustaining peace in the country, NASFAT president believes religious unity is key to sustainable peace.
Let us remain steadfast in the service of Allah. Brothers and sisters of NASFAT, let us give our today for tomorrow of our society.
Women Affairs Secretary of the organization is also of the opinion that now is the time for the preaching of peace by every religious organization.
We are peace-loving. Islam preaches peace, love, affection, fear, and just. And as such, we want everybody to embrace peace so that we can all live in harmony.
The anniversary chairman, Remy Bello, takes the toll of preaching unity in time of difficulties as key to sustainable peace.
So we believe this is the time for us to make the point that we need to live in peace before we are able to achieve anything. You can't achieve anything when there is rancor, when there is discordance.
With the world becoming a global village, NASFAT enjoins other religious organizations in taking advantage of the internet and preach peace via the new NASFAT mobile app.
The whole world has been turned to a global village, so there is need for us to move from local level to technological level, and that will even ease the passing of information and knowledge to all.
Other side attractions of the day includes the unveiling of new Asalatu books for all age groups. The call for sustainable peace is a call clerics expect every Nigerian to respond to if the pains of violence is felt by everyone. Akinyobakeye, CoreTV News, Lagos.
And now we take you to Benue State, where the representative of the United Nations High Commissioner for Refugees to Nigeria and Economic Community of West African States, Angel Dikong Atangana, says the attacks in Agatu local government area of Benue State by suspected militia has left the area in total ruin. Atangana led on the tour of the area by Ezekiel Adaji, Deputy Chairman, House of Representatives Committee on Internally Displaced Persons, Refugees and Northeast Development Initiative, also describes the damage as unimaginable. The UN representative stressed that it will be difficult for the affected people to rebuild their communities without external help. She also noted that the damage to Agatu is similar to what is happening in the Northeast, and assures that her agency will aid in the rehabilitation of the displaced persons. Atangana further disclosed that the United Nations has already donated non-food items worth over 20 million naira to the IDPs, stating that the items are with the State Emergency Management Agency in Makurdi. Now we take it to Kaduna State, where motorists in Kaduna, northwest Nigeria, are again appealing to the federal government to quickly look into the persistent fuel scarcity in the country as a matter of urgency and find a final solution to the matter so as to ease the hardship of the people. CoreTV crew monitored the situations at petrol stations and reports that there has been growing dissatisfaction among motorists in the state capital, to the point where motorists now have to spend 3 to 4 days on queues to get the product. Correspondent Theophilus Habila has the details.
As the problem of vehicular queues at petrol stations worsens, motorists in Kaduna State continue to voice their frustration over the difficulty in getting the products to buy. Some motorists share their experiences, saying they had to abandon their homes, work and important engagement to spend over 3 to 4 days on queues in order to get fuel for their vehicles. They agreed to bring themselves together and have their meal as one big family.
We are on the fuel queue since yesterday. We slept day before yesterday to yesterday, and unfortunately we are not able to get the fuel, so we have to sleep again. That is why we organize ourselves to bring mat and some food to eat in order to make ourselves a company.
We left home without taking anything because all our mind is here. So that is why we left home without taking anything, and that is why we have to use this opportunity to take something.
Because we've not eat since morning. We have slept here. We wake up with no take our breakfast. That's why we organize ourselves there and take breakfast in group like this.
Motorists also accuse some filling stations within the city for selling above the official pump price, which they say is the main cause of the hardship.
There are a lot of filling stations within Kaduna State that they have fuel, but they are not selling it in proper way. Some of them they are selling, above the official price, like 180 naira, 185, 190 naira. So we as commercial drivers and private users, we cannot go there and buy fuel in that exorbitant price.
Despite long queue and other stress before getting fuel at the filling stations, motorists say they prefer to wait for days than to buy from the roadside black marketers, as they call on President Muhammadu Buhari to come to the aid of Nigerian masses, especially on the issue of petroleum products and security.
High cases of hernia is being reported in Kanke local government area of Plateau State. We'll bring you details of that report shortly after this break.
With over 7 billion of world population and still counting, the world needs to hear you now than ever. Whatever your ministry or vision is, Gospel Africa will help get you there faster than you think possible. For inquiries and participation, contact 009 503 3859 or 0812 076 0011 or visit www.gospelafricang.com. Gospel Africa, your #1 media solutions for the church today. Gospel Africa, showing on this station at this time.
Every day, every hour, and every minute, news break in Nigeria. Things happen so fast, it's most times difficult to track and comprehend them. But that's what we do right here on Digi360. 2015, would you want to come back again?
It's like asking Jesus Christ if he knew he was going to die, will you want to come back as the savior of the world again?
We do not just help you track the stories, we break them down, explore all the angles, analyze the issues so that you can fully comprehend the stories and use them to make the right decisions.
Welcome back, and here's a recap of our major stories tonight. Thanks for joining us again. Do remember that you can get updates on our news stories from our different social media platforms. On Facebook, we have facebook.com/CoreTV News, and on Twitter at CoreTV News NG. And you can also subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/CoreTV_News. Experts are urging Nigerian youths to see the importance of the internet and explore its usefulness, as they say that if rightly channeled, the digital world can create immense opportunities for many people. Victoria Solomon files in this report presented from our studios.
The internet has undoubtedly become a huge part of our lives, and many people today rely on it to perform different tasks. Wherever you turn, you see people with different internet-enabled devices.
To have access to the internet so that they can be a part of this kind of conversations.
Capacity building is germane to nation building, and the internet offers possibilities.
We are trying to ensure that capacity is developed in ICT
industry, because without the capacity, without the resource, people need to have the capacity to be able to implement IT ideas that they have.
The internet is an extremely high opportunity to transform your life if you know what to do. For you to be able to think of what kind of gaps and opportunities exist in businesses today.
Youths are also to see the internet as a leverage.
You can take the future in your hands, using ICT as a tool to be able to leverage for education, proper upscaling, for skill enhancement, for employmentability, and all what's.
It is hoped that the youths will make the best of the opportunities inherent in the digital space to build the nation's economy.
And now we'll take you to Nasarawa State, where Governor Tanko Al-Makura has revoked the contracts of some abandoned projects in Karu local government area of the state. He made this known while inspecting the uncompleted bridge leading to the popular Orange Market in Maraba and the Maraba-Kabaye Road in Karu local government area. Al-Makura, who expressed dissatisfaction with the level of work, believes the revocation will enable projects to be completed before the rain sets in and also help ease the difficulties faced by traders and motorists. Now, the Nigerian Telecommunications Commission decries the high rate of vandalization of telecommunication infrastructure in the southeast. Executive Vice Chairman of the Commission, Umaru Dambata, expressed concerns over the development in an address at the 2016 Enugu Trade Fair. Dambata, who was represented at the event by the Director, Public Affairs, Tony Ojubo, appealed to state and local government in the zone to help address the problem. The NCC bus also urged state government in the southeast to stop multiple taxations on telecommunications operation. Imo State Governor Rochas Okorocha has urged all aspiring political office holders in the state to endeavor to identify with the grassroots and initiate projects and programs that will touch the lives of the people and the grassroots. The governor made this call while commissioning the last of the series of the Neoma Skills Acquisition and Empowerment Center at Ihite, Uboma local government area of Imo State. He said every political or elective office has an expiring date, and as such, the positive impact made in many people's lives through positive programs and policies will be the legacy they will be remembered for. Governor Okorocha further noted that the establishment of the Skills Acquisition and Empowerment Center by the Office of the First Lady is in line with his campaign promise of creating employment, industries and factories in the state. And now we'll take you to Cross River State, where the Cross River State Command of the Nigerian Immigration Service has arrested and paraded 2 illegal migrants, Sahid Mahmood, a Pakistani, and Nji Hais Chi from Cameroon. Addressing journalists at the command headquarters in Calabar, the command controller, Funke Adeoye, discloses that the immigrants were arrested at the Yahi in Yala local government area of the state by the Border Patrol team. She says that after a thorough profiling of the 2 illegal migrants, it was discovered that both of them had no valid traveling documents to be in Nigeria. The controller further discloses that the illegal migrants could be subject to further security checks. And now, on matters of education, the Academic Staff Union of Universities and the Senior Staff Association of Nigerian Universities, Niger Delta University Branch, have criticized the Bayelsa State's governor, Siriake Dixon, over their unpaid 3-month salaries. In a communique signed by the chairmen Stanley Ogwin, Wilcox Fakiduma, Equipre Denaga, and Kenneth Afofaha, the groups point out that the non-payment of their salaries have made lives unbearable for them. They say the development has made their members unable to meet their parental obligations, resulting in their children dropping out of school due to inability to pay school fees. The groups commend the state government staff verification as a means of exterminating payroll fraud in the system, but also fault its timing. describing it as a calculated attempt to further worsen the already critical state of the people. The Cross River State Universal Basic Education Board has uncovered over 248 fake teachers in 9 local government areas of the state, following the ongoing personal audit of teachers and the state by SUBEB. It was discovered that the bulk of the exposed teachers were in the 9 local government areas out of the 18 council areas where the audit of teachers had been completed. Those found culpable had fake certificates, while others were ghost teachers and dead teachers whose salaries are still being drawn on a monthly basis. The Nigerian Navy is enforcing regimentation for personnel to be able to keep fit for higher productivity, as well as enhance physical fitness and service delivery to the country. Kikelomo Okere, who was at the monthly route march, completes the story.
Men and officers of the Nigerian Navies and corps members have opted out to participate in the monthly route exercise to burn out unwanted calories and unwanted fat, as well as keep fit for maritime operations. Group Managing Director, Nigerian Navy Holdings, Rear Admiral James Oladapo Oluwole, says the exercise is very essential to keep fit and to bond themselves together.
As you know, in the military, you must be fit. That is very, very essential. And once every month we make sure that we come together to keep fit, to bond ourselves together. Like I said, it's also for bonding, and also individually too, there's a lot of health benefit.
Exercises like this help to burn unwanted calories. This help the men and officers of Nigerian Navy to keep fit ahead of operations. Kikelomo Okere, CoreTV News, Abuja.
High cases of hernia has been found in Kabir, a community in Kanke local government area of Plateau State. The state government discovered this during a routine medical outreach. Hernia, which is a medical condition which leads to a protrusion of muscles through the skin, was found to be prevalent in many areas in Plateau State. Correspondent has more.
Hernia occurs when an organ pushes through an opening in the muscle or tissue that holds it in place. For example, the intestines may break through a weakened area in the abdominal wall. Hernias are most common in the abdomen, but they can also appear in the upper thigh, belly button, and groin areas. Most hernias are not immediately life-threatening, but they don't go away on their own and can require surgery to prevent potential dangerous complications.
The number of hernias that we've seen so far that are situated within the groin of the men is alarming, because you see hernias that you cannot imagine the sizes.
The hernia condition, which easily leads to discrimination, now forces men in the area to tie wrappers for comfort. The local government area chairman, Panchak Yohana, assured the victims of adequate medical manpower to handle their cases. Also discovered to be prevalent in Kanke Local Government Council is eye disorder disease.
I'm feeling it since last 3 years. So now I've seen a doctor.
Over 20 doctors are here, and almost all the health personnel within the local government will mobilize them here. So we have the manpower.
And now we'll go for a short break. Do join us again.
CoreTV News now live on all Androids.
Welcome to CoreTV Primetime News.
Download CoreTV News app from your Play Store. Click on the menu to see all our top stories, from politics, sports, business, foreign news and live TV to watch us live on your mobile.
I want to know why I should be believing them.
You can also click on video to see all our YouTube videos. CoreTV News, a 24-hour news station.
Thinking of how to send goods to anywhere? Think All-Seal Mail Services. Our courier and logistics is world-class. What of your travel needs? All-Seal Travel and Tours can handle everything from ticketing, hotel reservation, and more. All-Seal Mail and All-Seal Travel and Tours, subsidiaries of Orchard Security and Investment Limited, All-Seal. Visit us today.
Welcome back. And now we'll take you to the foreign scene, South Africa, in particular, where the country's parliament will debate a motion to impeach President Jacob Zuma. The debate on the motion has been scheduled for next week. The South African president had ignored orders from the public prosecutor to return some of the $16 million in state funds that he used to renovate his mansion in Nkandla, Natal province. However, the 73-year-old Zuma, in a televised address, has apologized and said he would pay back some of the money as ordered. He further states that he never knowingly or deliberately set out to violate the Constitution or squander the funds. And now we'll take you to Belgium, where the Brussels airport has reopened for 3 symbolic flights amid tight security controls, 12 days after an attack by suicide bombers which killed 16 people. 3 Brussels Airlines flights were scheduled to depart for European destinations. The first left at 11:40 GMT for Faro, Portugal, and passengers were screened on an approach road and again before check-in. Attacks on the airport and a Brussels metro station by so-called Islamic State on the 22nd of March left 32 people dead. Airport workers gathered at Zaventem to watch the first flight take off as work returns to normal. And we take you to the United States, where a plane has crash landed on the Interstate 15 freeway in Southern California, hitting a car and killing one of its passengers. The plane appeared to be having technical problems before it crash landed on the freeway in San Diego, Fallbrook. 3 others in the car were also hurt, along with the plane's pilot and passenger. In year 2000, a former owner of the same plane guided the Lancair 4 down on the same freeway after its engine failed. But this time around, it landed on its belly before skidding into a nearby hare. Host driver had pulled over to use his phone, totally crushing Antoinette Isabel of San Diego in the back seat. Still in the United States, a train has derailed south of the U.S. city of Philadelphia, leaving 2 people dead and more than 30 people injured. Amtrak's Train 89 was heading from New York City to Savannah in Georgia when it struck a mechanical digger that was on the track at Chester. Some 341 passengers and 7 crew members were on board. Amtrak services between New York and Philadelphia have been suspended due to the accident. The 2 people killed are believed to have been construction workers who were unable to get off the track in time. Local emergency responders are at the scene and an investigation is ongoing. Chester Fire Department's Commissioner Travis Thomas provided the figures on casualties in May last year. 7 carriages of an Amtrak train derailed on the Philadelphia-New York line, killing 7 people and injuring more than 200. And about 20 people were injured when an Amtrak train derailed 20 miles west of Dodge City, Kansas, last month. And our sports.
Power style, and that's what he delivered.
Now we'll take you to England, the Premier League in particular, where Leicester City moved 7 points clear at the top of the Premier League table with 6 games remaining after Wes Morgan's header saw off Southampton. The Foxes' keeper connected with Christian Fuchs' first half cross to score his first goal of the season. Southampton came closest when Sadio Mane rounded off Kasper Schmeichel, but his goal-bound shot was superbly blocked by Danny Simpson. Leicester will win the title if they win 4 of their remaining games. Claudio Ranieri's side have now won 5 of their last 6 matches by a lone goal score line, and after main title rivals Tottenham slipped up with a draw at Liverpool on Saturday, the most unlikely title triumph in Premier League history must surely be considered a probability. And I will take you to Old Trafford, where Anthony Martial's winning goal keeps Manchester United in the chase for a Champions League place on the day they named a stand after Sir Bobby Charlton. Martial turned in Timfosu Mensah's cross from close range early in the second half to send Everton to a 3rd straight Premier League defeat. Everton came close when Phil Jagielka headed against the bar for the visitors and later had a snapshot saved by David De Gea, but still ended up losing the game. Meanwhile, the victory leaves United 1 point behind 4th placed Manchester City. And Nico Rosberg has claimed a comfortable win in the Bahrain Grand Prix as Mercedes teammate Lewis Hamilton fought back to 3rd after a first lap collision with Valtteri Bottas Williams at turn 1. Hamilton dropped to 7th on lap 1 following a slow start for his Mercedes bodywork damaged. Hamilton recovered well but was unable to catch Ferrari's Kimi Raikkonen in 2nd. Rosenborg now has a record 5 wins in a row going back to Mexico last year. This gives him a 17-point title lead over Hamilton. The world champion may be concerned about his second poor start in as many races this season, and Raikkonen's place was further evident, proving that Ferrari are strong enough to at least put pressure on Mercedes this year. And now we'll take you to Italy, where former AC Milan defender and Italy coach Cesare Maldini has died at the age of 84. As a player, Maldini won 4 Serie A titles with Milan, as well as their first European Cup in 1963. He then managed the club between 1972 and 1974. In 1996, he also became the coach of Italy before eventually leading Paraguay to the 2002 World Cup. And that's all we have for you in CoreTV Primetime News. Do join us at 12 midnight for more updates. But before we go, here's a recap of our major stories. And on that note, we drop the anchor tonight. I am Oluyemisi Olubi. Thanks for watching.